The screenshot there, the 2x2 together, and then you have the one where it's in the convoy. They look entirely different.
They do.
They just look mostly in physical features in the aspect of that it almost looks like the hood of the one in the convoy is lower raised, and the shield plating is a little more wired and thicker. And then back to the weaponized versions of the Tambas, you actually notice then in the white and black kind of green one that the headlights have some form of missile in them.
Is that a missile?
Kind of like the Ruiner. It might be a
Hmm.
missile. It could be just like a modified headlight, but it does seem like it would be appropriate for
Yeah,
this
it
style
does.
of vehicle.
And from my perspective, I don't know if you like. Okay, so in the white, we'll just say the white and gray one for now. And then if you look at that one, the guns on top. From my perspective, it looks like there's two Gatlins on the top, and then the one on the right, where the red one is, just only has one. I wonder what that's about. Maybe it's like a customizable choice. You can get one or two. I guess one will probably cost less, maybe, or something of that extent.
All right, and this is something about the miniguns I've noticed, and it's been on all the screenshots so far that show the miniguns. That they seem to have, they're not like a standard minigun like on the turreted limo, or like on kind of like the machine guns on the Insurgent. It looks like a camera, it looks like a smart turret. I don't think that the gunner will have to be there holding it. I feel like the passenger maybe might have some form of viewpoint, kind of like they can in helicopters, like the Buzzard.
Right, yeah, kind of like, yeah, because if you look in the red car, you can kind of see two gentlemen, one guy driving and another guy in the passenger. It is possible. I kind of know what you're saying. You're saying like a passenger could have access to the vehicle's weapons, and that could be, I understand what you're talking about. The passenger possibly could be on the inside of the car. It won't be like an Insurgent where you're on the top actually shooting. It's probably through all through computer where you can be, it's still inside the car and shoot on the outside. I kind of see what you mean there.
And then this is something that I would not have caught without watching it. I've seen other videos that people have made, obviously, but something I noticed on the white and green Tampa, there's something sticking out the back, and then obviously there's the two explosions then.
That is true, yeah.
I'm curious if that's something like a defense system. I know that some people are saying it could be a mortar system that maybe launches grenades out from the back, which I feel like would be a very good way to defend themselves, considering that it doesn't look like you're able to use sticky bombs in this car with the armor plating.
Right. And how many and that's another thing as well. I don't know if we really touched subjects on the point of how many explosives or how armor resistant do you think this thing will be exactly?
I feel like with the amount of teeth this has, like, this is a pretty armored up thing. This is a pretty weaponized vehicle. I feel like it may be armored, but not incredibly. I feel like we're looking at more of the armored cars variants, where it's maybe 1 or 2 explosive resistance.
Right, like one or two RPGs, kind of like the what the armored
the armored SUVs and the Baller LWE.
Right, or the new muscle car that's armored, kind of like that. Well, I forgot what the name of it is, but yeah, that too. I mean, it could almost be as armored as that vehicle.
Yes.
And actually, I don't know. Do you think those are gonna be? They kind of look like muscle vehicles. I mean, maybe from the design, I can't really see them as a sport, or I'm pretty sure they're gonna be classified as a muscle variant or a muscle.
Yes. Muscle car, yeah. Well, they are taken from the Tampa, which is a muscle vehicle, I believe. I believe it's classified under muscle.
Right.
And then, yeah, so I think that's everything really that I can cover here. Obviously, we know so far every single screenshot that's been given, it seems like kind of the Blaine County area.
Right, yeah.
It's all been kind of up in the hills almost. So I think we're good on there. Haven't seen much activity in the city.
All right. What picture do you want to go to next?
Let's go to the weapon customization. Like it shows the 3 guys with the weapons.
Okay, that one. Okay, in the forest.
Yeah, so it's on the newer. Yeah, when they're in the forest with the new outfits and everything.
Alright, so as you guys can see right here, by the picture I just put up on the screen, we're here with the three gentlemen, as you can see in the picture, holding different various, I guess, I'm not different weapons, but more so different designs of the weapons. I mean, as far as we talked before, there's like definitely different camos. I'm happy for like the red one. You know, red's my favorite color. So the red camo to the far right guy, what looks to be on an MG, that's my most favorite one. But what are your thoughts on this picture exactly?
Mm. Well, so clearly I've noticed that like they're very customizable weapons, and I'd also like to point out that this is another prime example of the new outfits we're going to be getting. I'm very happy about the new options that will be given. But all these weapons, a lot of people are saying like, no, 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 we're just going to be getting new rifles and new weapons. I don't think we're going to get new weapons. I feel like we might get a few, maybe one or two, maybe three max, but I don't think we're going to be getting a whole lot of weapons. I think it's all going to be customizable. So let's look at the first guy with the sniper rifle. That is, to what we believe, the 50 cal or the heavy sniper. And it looks like it's just been modified with a different clip that has a bit. It may be a different clip, but it may be just a different livery for the gun. The main frame of the gun for the actual barrel, excuse me, it looks a little wider, and the barrel itself is a lot shorter than it was intentionally.
Yeah, that's very true, very true. And we were discussing before we started this, I guess you could say podcast. We're gonna call it podcast for now. I guess you could pretty much say that we were talking about this how it could be a possible thermal sniper, or we could switch between thermal and a regular scope because of if you look close enough, it does have like a green little lens right there in the front of it, meaning it could be just the color of it, or it could actually represent like a possible like a thermal or like a night vision possible variant to the scope itself.
Hmm. All right. Well, with the next guy then, I guess we can continue. Obviously, new outfit. Looks like new versions of the gunner glasses. Obviously, I know that's kind of a nitpick detail, but I've noticed that. It might be, it might not be. That I do know is a new style of haircut, the kind of buzz look. I know that some people like the new haircut styles, so that's something I noticed. And then obviously the AK. It doesn't look that much different other than a shorter barrel maybe, and then a different livery for the gun, a kind of a green,
Yeah,
almost like
green.
tech,
Yeah.
like kind of a tech woodland look to
Right.
it. So there's not much with that him. And then obviously to you and I's both personal favorite, the what I believe is the or not the combat MG, excuse me, the regular MG with a modified body kit, stock, and muzzle, and then obviously the red dot sight.
Yeah, because if you guys look closely, if you have an MG in game, if you want to just kind of like to compare the things that we have in game, if you look closely, the MGs, and if you pull yours out, it's not the same. There's a bunch of different there's a bunch of different designs with this MG compared to the one in game currently. The one in game currently has like a long range scope kind of to where the one in the picture right here has sort of like a red dot variant. And the stock is like a fully covered stock to where the one in the picture is like kind of like I guess you could like see through it in a way, and it's shorter as well, like he said as well. It's like a kind of a shorter barrel as well. So.
Hmm. All right, well that's all I can think of for this picture. Do you want to just move on?
Yeah, let's move on to the next one. All right, which one are we gonna go to next?
I'll let you pick.
Um, let's touch bases on the bike, the flying
I was
bike.
hoping you would say that. See, this is an interesting vehicle because it doesn't look like it has any weapons whatsoever. I feel like it's gonna be like the Rocket Voltic. No weapons. Its sole purpose is just to be able to boost.
Well, then again, I mean, it's flying. So the Voltic, the rocket car, essentially is what people call it. The actual name is called the Voltic, but essentially you can only like boost every like you boost and then you have to wait possibly like 5 to 6 seconds
You build
until
up more
boosting again.
momentum, yeah.
Right, yeah, but on this bike, I mean, I'm only taking an assumption right here. I'm not really like this is non-conformational, but I'm thinking that this bike's it's just gonna be a legitimate burning engine, kind of like on like a jet, where it keeps going and going once you get it flying, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, because I know people hate it when people do this, but I actually went to like kind of the location where the screenshot looks like, and it doesn't look like he jumped from an area and like he boosted off. It genuinely looks like he took off and
Right,
he's
right.
flying through the city. I could be wrong because you obviously see the under construction building in the on the left, and you see the 500K apartment on the right, the bridge down the middle, obviously.
Right. Another thing I want to
It's
point out.
definitely something interesting.
Right, right,
Mm.
yeah. But another thing I want to point out as well is, this is just kind of going to go on a fun little side note. But for the most part, right here, if you look at his jacket, that's another as well. Like that is not in the game yet, folks. I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
That camoed jacket that looks to be a part of the gun running update as well. So look forward to definitely clothing. We've said it before, like in the other picture with the new weapon camos and shit like that over there. But this one as well. I mean, this one looks to be like a leather complex jacket, but camo version as well. So that's gonna be pretty interesting. It looks pretty cool.
Mm. Yeah, again, it's a pretty simplified thing. I know, obviously, since it's a flying bike almost. Because I mean, you have like the wings. I don't know if Rockstar would ever do that. I feel like that'd be something very annoying to have just a flying bike. I feel it's also possible at the worst case, I guess. I know everyone can dream here, but I feel like it also could be an opportunity for like just a bike that can glide. Like it takes the boost, flies up in the air, and then it can glide to safety.
That would still be
Because we all
cool.
know yeah, because we all know after the biker DLC that falling off bikes has become very easy because they've
Right,
made
right.
it so then you're able to be knocked off your bike, obviously. So if you're flying through the air and you're trying to land, I mean, it's gonna be a rough landing.
Very true, very true. But with a glide, I mean, this could be a little bit different. So I mean, like I
It's
said,
gonna be a bit of a
just
softer landing.
right, right, right. But yeah, another thing, just want to recap. Like I said, if you guys, like I said, if we missed something or if something you guys want to point out or just say, leave it down in the comment section below. We'll probably reply to it or we'll probably put it in the next video, depending on if we do another one of these. So no, leave a like though if you guys do want to if you want more of these in the future. But I'm pretty sure. I mean, unless you want to point out something else in this picture, I think we should move on to the next one.
All right, I'll pick something here. Let's go to the blue APC out in the farm.
Blue APC. All right, hold on. I gotta find that. Wait, the blue APC? Where's the?
Yeah, it's right over by the farm. It has the
Oh, I see it.
three
Yeah, with the
helicopters in the
vehicle.
background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Mhm.
All right. We're here with this picture.
So so obviously nothing incredibly new here besides the APC. The helicopters, they're savages. Sorry, people, they're not new helicopters. We're not, as far as we're aware, we're not getting new air vehicles. I feel like this is all based off of like ground.
Yeah,
Because
gun running, for
that
instance. That's the
APC.
name of the game.
Yeah.
Gun running.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously I know it's something to nitpicky, but if you're able to pull up two items here, something I noticed
Yeah, I
with
probably can.
comparing the two different APCs here, from the first APC screenshot, the brown one, and then you have the light blue one out in the farmland.
Right.
Those missiles are completely different. One is longer and skinnier than the other, and the other one
That
is
is
quite
true.
shorter.
That is true. That is actually, yeah, I just now noticed that. Yeah, one is more like like the brown vehicle, the brown and like black or brown and blue, whatever you want to call it, is more so of a green missile coming out, and then the one over with the helicopters is kind of like a longer, but like it's like a darkish greenish tint with like a yellow spiral around. I mean, that does look, and then if you look at the two as well, they the actual barrel that holds the missiles itself do look a little bit shorter. Um,
Mm.
so that's
Yeah, you're
actually pretty
right. They
interesting.
yeah, and I actually something else I noticed here is that the hatches there's a little bubble hatch that pops down. That's something I didn't notice before. Like the hatch that the missiles actually have a little hatch that holds them,
Yeah, that's true. That's interesting.
and they pop down when you shoot them. So
Well, then
this
again,
kind of proves, yeah.
yeah. Well, one more time
Go
though,
ahead.
like I just noticed something as well though. They could still be the same vehicle because if you look at it in the blue vehicle, like the blue camoed vehicle, that
Mm.
is the second missile being fired. But if you go back and look over at the brown one, the first
It's
missile
the
is being
first.
fired. So
Mm-hmm.
then again, it could be the same thing, and they just have different missiles being shot out, maybe, or it
Mm.
could be just the perspective that we're getting. But for the most part, I mean,
Possibly.
that is two differences, though. So I mean, it might. I mean, then
Yeah.
again, I could be wrong, and there could be two different types of this vehicle, or there could just just be
Mm.
different different I guess you could say different views of it.
Yeah.
So
Because if you look, because it was something that they've said is that you'll have extensive vehicle upgrade. So what we'll actually think about is that it's possible to have these things actually upgradable to a very high extent of that. You can go down to the nitpicking of what type of missile. Maybe certain missiles are good for certain vehicles or certain like issues. So say like the shorter missiles, maybe they're good for helicopters, or the longer missiles are good for dealing with jets.
sure, that's true.
Right. Well, do you want to focus on? I feel like we could focus on the bunker, but I kind of want to focus more on vehicles right now, just because
Yeah,
they
me too.
seem a lot more of a hot topic. So how about we scroll all the way up to the trailer?
Give me a second. I didn't pull it up. I guess I thought I had all of them ready.
Hmm.
There it is. All right, so we're here with the new picture. This is actually pretty interesting. I mean, it's a trailer being pulled by a truck and it's shooting that Hydra. This is, I mean, I'll let you take the lead on this one. This is pretty interesting.
So obviously, first thing you notice, they're not shooting the same missiles as the APC, so it's going to be something a little more lightweight. It's also something that it's clear that you're going to need a buddy for this one. This whole DLC, you're going to, besides maybe the APC is my only hope really, but you're going to need friends for this DLC. It's not something that solo players will do well with because, I mean, unless you want to pull that thing around yourself and just position it in places and get in it yourself and wait to be shot at, because it's obviously moving, so that could be an advantage to have a moving SAM turret like on a truck like that.
That's gonna be interesting, and this is gonna be the first actual military grade vehicle, or just first vehicle in general, that the game has been implemented with, or Rockstar has implemented into the game, where we actually haul things around. Like I know in haulage, like if you do a free mode event within a CEO, you haul the trailer around, but that's not really anything too special. With this is a legitimate, like this is like legit. This is like this has a purpose. You're actually doing something with this, and it takes like Jesse said, it takes like possibly two people unless you want to position it around places. Which meaning, I mean, that it could be a thing where you just haul it around and position it. And like whenever we're like, I mean, for like us, like since we're in BIA Brothers in Arms, by the way, now recruiting. So if you guys want to hit me up, let me know. Pull you guys in. But yeah, this vehicle is perfect for us. So let's say we're fighting in the
Oh
countryside,
boy.
and the range on this, and the range on this is the range on the missile loss. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought there. But okay, so this vehicle that we're looking at, we can only assume that it's lock on, kind of like the homing launcher where you lock onto things. I can only assume that's what this might be, or it could be laser pointed, but that's more complex. I don't know if Rockstar is willing to do that. So for now, we're just gonna go with the theory of locking on capabilities. And if that's the case, where it's locking on, then we can only assume that it's going to have a pretty far distance where you can lock onto things, because then again you're stationary. So let's when you're fighting this, like it's taking down a damn Hydra. So I don't know how many missiles it shoots. We like I said, we're all speculating with each and every one of these vehicles. We don't know if it's unlimited ammo, kind of like the Buzzards and the like the Pegasus vehicles, where like all your ammo is unlimited. We don't know. I mean, this could be like the what's the one car called? It's called the something 2000. They made it in the last update. It was a car that parachutes and it
Ruiner
does all kinds of
2000.
Ruiner 2000. So that vehicle right there, the Ruiner 2000, is limited with rockets, and we could see the same thing with some of these vehicles here, meaning the trailer, the one that's a trailer. That could be a vehicle that's limited as well, but we don't know until it does come out. So
Yes. So, something that I like, yeah, like obviously I want to implement here is that it doesn't look like we're gonna be forced to some vehicle. It looks like any form of truck that can haul a trailer, really.
Right, yeah. I used to have that truck. I actually
So,
tried to get our leader, Fire Frenzy, and I think it was at one point in time a truck that that we had implemented for our hierarchy, but for the most part, this truck, I mean, like I said, we can only assume that Rockstar is gonna make it to where a decent amount of trucks have trailer hitches on the back, or else you're gonna have to use just one specific truck to haul
hmm,
trailers around, and that's gonna be the one in the picture here. So I mean, we'll see though when it comes
yeah.
out, I guess.
Yeah, and obviously we have no idea if these are going to be have unlimited ammo. Obviously, in my fair opinion, I feel like having unlimited ammo with some of these vehicles, it would be very unfair and OP to the extent that these things are monstrous vehicles that could easily take down anything.
Very true, very true.
And then something I've actually been speculating about with all the different like heavy missile artillery vehicles is that are they gonna have it so then we can are there only like these missile like vehicles are they only going to be able to affect air vehicles? Can some of them affect ground?
Yeah,
'Cause
that's another thing we were
obviously
speculating on. Like, do they only? Then again, like another thing, like what we're pretty much speculating here is like he's saying, can it only like lock on and shoot? Like, can we only shoot it when it's being locked onto something, or can we pre-fire it? And if that is the case, then I'm hoping we can. I mean, at least me personally, I'm hoping that we can just shoot it without having to lock onto anything. I'm hoping we could just pre-fire and shoot anywhere because if it's only limited to just being locked onto, that's I mean, hopefully it's not going to be a lot of fucking money if that is the case.
hmm, yeah, no, that's something I definitely can think about. And then obviously it's this kind of the DLC of Salvation in my opinion that hopefully this will be the end of the Hydras and the all the jet griefers out there because obviously Rockstar tried a few months back with the homing launcher but it didn't end well and they ended up maneuvering it. But in the description here, I'll read it. Let me just find it here at one moment. Hmm. Actually, can't find it. All I can remember is about this is that it was a little message that they basically said that I feel like was just directed toward jet fighters that these heavy machineries will have the ability to have pilots soiling their cockpits. So it's kind of an idea of that these things are definitely going to be effective toward jets, hopefully.
Hopefully. All right, you
All
wanna
right,
move on to the next one?
yeah, I think the last one we have here is the bunker screenshots here. Naturally, we have, let's start with the agent, Agent 37. He's the man that's gesturing you in the picture there.
Wait, where?
The
Oh, the
little,
okay, the
little,
guy. Yeah, yeah. Let me
hmm
pull that up.
So,
All right, found it.
all right, so obviously we have a female character. Based off of I do have a female character that I use for kind of experimenting with outfits, obviously. That is a new haircut, new outfit, obviously. I think that's the same jacket we see that was in the that the biker was wearing for the flying or gliding jet or
Right, right,
jet
yeah.
bike. But so this guy right here, this is Agent 37. He's actually the guy who assists you in two of the heists that you do. That is the Prison Break and the Humane Labs heist. But during that time, you never learn his name and you never really learn like who he really is. So I feel like he's actually going to play a fairly big role. Maybe he'll help you manage your bunker, or maybe you'll do missions with him again. Maybe stealing supplies or like getting your warehouses for inside your bunker like up and running.
Right, and what looks to be is this new upcoming bunker. It's gonna be pretty fucking huge because
Yeah.
if you look closely and if you really like look
Mm.
in depth of your character, this female character right here, compare and then you put it in the center of of this bunker, look how large it is. Look how far it goes back. Look how like to the right, like all these different things. And there's other screenshots that we have showed you in the. Oh wait, no, we haven't. No, we haven't got to the other one yet, but we will soon. But there's gonna be so much. There's gonna be so much space within this bunker. It's gonna be pretty amazing. And I can only assume that we're seeing all this like underground area. It's possible that this is gonna be like on the inside of like a mountain, or it's definitely going to be underground, because like if you look around in the surroundings of the walls of this bunker with the picture we have pulled up now, with like the female and the guy, is pretty much it's all stone and it's carved out. So obviously it's either going to be underground or in a mountain. So that's going to be pretty interesting, you know, just to see. Hopefully it's going to be in a mountain, because it's more cool that way, in my personal opinion. You know, we have to go like somewhere out into the countryside areas, maybe to like Chiliad or the mountain next to the military base or somewhere like there, to go inside of the bunker. That would be very, very cool. I would like that a lot. That would be pretty interesting to have and see.
And then, so something you notice in the far corner, obviously, like Panda said here, this is a very massive area. I feel like it's going to be a pretty big deal, bunkers are going to be. And then, so what you notice in the back is you see these workbenches. I feel like that's where you can customize your weapons, or maybe you start, like, customizing your vehicles or adding it like new things. It's because as it says that you further down, that beyond manufacturing your stock to sell, reap the benefits of your bunker's white coat staff. So you'll have AI scientists and stuff, kind of like stuff we've seen from the warehouses for the MC clubs, that they actually will be using their time to research for you, unlocking range of potential upgrades for your personal weapons and your tech for all your weaponized vehicles. So I think you'll have to do research projects, gather material. It's not going to be easy as like, okay, here's the vehicle, you can go buy the customization. I think you're going to have to actually buy the vehicle and then maybe do missions or side jobs to actually unlock and like research these actual like upgrades.
Right.
Other than that, that's about it.
Yeah.
We can move on to the next. We can move on to the next screenshot. That's also the bunker. That just proves our point that this is an even bigger. Like this is like huge thing.
Should we go to the Okay, let's go to the scientist one.
We'll go to the one with the scientists. Yeah, the scientists.
And then after that, we'll go to the gun range one where they're shooting at the range and shit like that.
Yes. So what you can see from this, you obviously think. I think over in the corner, you see like kind of the scientist sitting down. You see the
left side corner.
Characters over by the weapons board with all the customizations. I think that's what we see in the previous screenshot. That's like where you walk in and you see everything going on, and then you have your meeting table. You'll be able to buy sodas. That's always nice. And then if you zoom in on female character, that's actually like walking through. That is
over there to
new
the right,
outfit stuff.
That is definitely a new outfit. That looks like definitely all came out military, like somewhat like military based type of armor. Like I'm looking at all that, like the boots. If you look closely, like the boots and the pants and the outfit, definitely. Yeah, it does like guys, don't, if you really want clothing, we can almost guarantee there's gonna be clothing coming in this update, and it's gonna be really fucking good.
No, and then obviously you have your lighting. I think it's gonna have a slight customization option. Like you'll be able to choose kind of obviously the location of the bunker. Maybe you wanna add like lighting or certain things. Maybe like adding the soda machines helps you in some way, or just honestly kind of just an extra perk. But with this DLC, I don't think it's going to be like the executive DLC or like the MC DLC where you have to buy a separate warehouse. I think everything is going to be stored, processed, and here. You may have to sell it like to different places, but I feel like it's all going to be separate, like just in different sections of the building. Like you'll have maybe a section for like managing your group, a second option for like research and like building, and then maybe another area for the store your weapons, obviously.
Right, and another thing I want to point out as well is or I just want to get your opinion on it. Okay, so I can almost say that this isn't going to be a part of an MC thing. Is it in like or a CEO thing? Do you think this is gonna be its own thing, kind of like the CEO and the MC? Do you think it's gonna be its own like thing where like CEOs and shit like that we get our own military group, or do you think it's gonna be a part of the CEO thing?
One can hope. I feel like Rockstar could easily just make it, could sloppily just say, okay, this is an extension of your CEO building, kind of like what they did with the special vehicles and everything and the vehicle warehouse. They just made it an extension. They didn't add a whole other group. But I feel like it would make the most sense to have like a separate thing, because that's something people notice. Because if they are gonna do a separate thing, you can kind of tell. People are wondering, is it gonna be like the MC warehouses or the MC clubhouses where you can have like up to 8 people in your thing? I think it's gonna be the same as if they are gonna do something different. It's gonna be the difference of the excuse me, um, of the MC warehouse. You're gonna only have 4 members. I don't. Maybe they'll do
I'm actually hoping
squads
that's not the
instead
thing.
of
I'm hoping
associates.
that it's gonna be more. If it is its own thing, then I'm hoping it's gonna be like as much as the MC or maybe more. Because then again, you have to take in
Mm.
consideration. I would say almost over 50%. I can't give you an actual statistic, but I'm gonna say over
Mm.
50% of the population of GTA is crews and doing tons and tons of free mode wars. I can speak
Mm.
for our crew alone. We have allies, enemies, who we obviously allies who we will help engage their enemies, and vice versa. You know, we have our own enemies and we fight them, and it all comes down to free mode wars. And I can only say for myself, but Zesty, I mean, how many times have we've been in so many free mode wars, and it's just, and they're adding all these vehicles as well for free mode wars as well. Like they're adding like
Mm.
these like the anti-air vehicles, like the fucking, so
Mm.
they can take down jets, because jets are the main thing that really rule the lobbies these days, is because they're always spawn killing people in jets. I know I can speak for our crew when it comes down to it. When we're fighting other crews, they tend to pull out heavier artillery and jets and stuff like that. And then, excuse me, because I started getting choked up there. But the normally a lot of times they will start pulling heavy artillery and jets, and then it'll force us to do the same thing, and we'll have to keep spawn killing them because they just don't like to play respectfully, and they don't like to stick to ARs. So we have to pull out things like jets.
Mm.
And I think these vehicles that are coming out, it's like it's really gonna make a really like a counter thing to the jets. You know, it's like this whole thing. I mean, is mainly, I can only assume, just for free mode wars. They're doing is funding things for free mode wars to keep going on. They're not really doing anything to prevent them. They're just lighting the fire more, in my eyes.
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing, because I know some people like to do free mode wars, but you know, after how long GTA has been out, close to 5 years now, and that's all it's been. Is just a
Mm.
bunch of that, and I'm not complaining. You know, I just, that was a small tangent that I went on, but I was just saying, I'm just pointing out a couple things. That's all.
Mm. No, I agree with you. I feel like it would be really nice to add they'd be able to have like multiple people, like having more than a CO or like more than a biker warehouse like MC, to have like multiple members. Just because of the evidence we've been shown, because like with the biker, all the screenshots we got from the biker DLC, you saw more than just 4 people. You saw maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6, and like occasionally, I think there was one screenshot where it was 8.
Right,
But
right.
so far, all they provided us with, I think it's safe to say it's only going to be 4, just because in every screenshot it's been 4 or less. Even in the screenshot we're on currently, I count 3 actual players. The rest are all NPCs.
Right, right, right. Well, I mean, I guess there's really not much to talk about this page unless you want to put in something else.
No, I think that's it. Other than it's gonna be very interesting to customize these things. It's gonna be very expensive. Be prepared to empty your wallets for Rockstar if you are interested in this DLC. But it's gonna be. I'd like the range that the bunkers are hopefully gonna be in the kind of in the CEO office building range. Maybe nothing more expensive than 4 million
I'm hoping the same
with
thing
like
too.
just stock. Yeah, just like stock and everything. But yeah, let's head over to the older screenshots, and let's head to the gun range vehicle. The gun range screenshot.
All right. All right, we're here. Got it. Pulled up.
All right. So obviously, new outfits. Really excited about that. This picture, obviously, the characters are very low quality because it's more focused on the actual targets. But this is something to add is that this again we can rephrase that this is going to be a massive place because we'll be able to have a research operation, a place to store all our vehicles, a gun range, a place for meetings. Like this is going to be a huge place.
And then again, that brings me back to the same thing again. This whole thing is gonna be like so huge and so giant. And then again, I just want to point out something as well. Like Zesty said, four people again, four people in the picture. So I mean, like I said, we're probably gonna be limited to four. But if hopefully if Rockstar somehow sees this, they probably won't. But if they do, please give it their own CEO organization thing. Make it an own military thing. Just make that a thing. It would just be so much better for crews like us mainly. And military crews and other shit like that. Just more people and a thing, you know. So that way, when you're like in free mode awards, which you are helping fuel, you know, if it's a full lobby, the full 30-person lobby, it can be 15-15. Have at least just 15 CEO organization group. That would be insane, but it would be fucking perfect for if it came down to, you know.
Mm-hmm. No, obviously then people are saying, oh yeah, new, everything's new outfits, new vehicles, new weapons. Weapons, I don't think we're gonna get that many new outfits. My opinion is that we're gonna get maybe, I'd like to say, two, maybe three max new weapons. And I already have my speculations on those, and we can touch base at that as our kind of last thing of the podcast here. But I think a lot of our weapons are all just gonna be customizable.
Right, yeah.
So
I'm hoping so.
yeah,
We
so
have one more picture to look at though, just one more really fast. It's gonna be the one of the entrance of what possibly might. It says that yeah, it's definitely the entrance to the bunker. So, Zesty, do you have that pulled up, or do you have that?
where is that? Is that on the
It's the
older?
one where the truck goes into the thing and it's got like a sign in front of it, and it's
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, yeah, I have that pulled up now. So
all right.
this is one of our last few screenshots. Obviously, it's really cool to be able to see a bunker kind of rise from the ground, as they say.
And that's a new
I don't
vehicle
think
too.
they're gonna.
That is
That is the
That is a
Doom
new
loader.
vehicle. I haven't seen. Yeah,
That's,
it looks to have tracks in the back of it.
mhm.
Four possible total guns on it. I can see two on the left side, and then possibly two more on the right. And we're unclear yet
Yeah.
if that's like gonna be like, kind of like where you're actually in the gunner seat itself, or it's gonna be computer based, where you're inside a passenger seat and you're just looking through a computer, you know. And the that we're unclear about that. Like I said, none of this has came out yet, so we can't really say too much about it. We can only speculate and give our opinions on a couple of these things.
So naturally, a lot of YouTubers, they've already, gone to this location, see if there was anything there. I've gone there myself. There's nothing over there. These things are going to be hidden away, any bunkers. As much as I want to believe that these things will physically rise from the ground every time you get near them, I think it's going to be a case of that it's going to be more of a cutscene. Like there's going to be just like a little hatch or maybe like a little like just closed off little building or maybe like inside a hill or a mountain, and you get a cutscene of this thing coming out of the ground and you drive it in.
Yeah, and then also on the
Something,
sign, yeah, there's like a sign right here
yeah.
as well, like where it says Los Santos Army Base Bunker. Army Base Bunker? That's another
I
indication where like it might possibly be a part of like the Army base area, because there's no, I
mm,
can't really see, like I said, I was speculating before about how it might be underground or inside of a mountain, but then again, I
mm,
mean, if it says Los Santos Army Base, meaning it's possibly going to be next to the Army base or within the Army base itself, so we might
mm,
possibly have access to the Army base for once in
mm,
GTA's history. We might not get on it. That I'm just speculating, but hey, it could
mm,
be a possible thing where we have access to a military base without having to get cops on us. That if that is a thing, and this
mm.
is a possible like just if it does come true, I'm hoping it does. That would be so fucking awesome, because I would love to go into the military base without having to get 4 stars automatically. That would just be a fucking dream come true. After 4 years, they're finally doing something with it. Like I said, just speculation. None of this is confirmed. But if it does happen to be true, I'm just gonna say I called it because this is just fucking awesome.
Yeah. Well, actually, something about the sign. It's actually not army base there. Sorry, I was gonna correct you there. It says air base
Air base, my
actually.
bad. Yep, my bad.
Mm.
Yeah, I just noticed that too.
So this is something that got really curious for me. It was really curious because it's air base. So are we gonna be able to what air vehicles? Is there gonna be people are thinking that there might be an underground runway or something, or like an ability to take like helicopters in this, or storing not just the special vehicles or the vehicles coming out, maybe vehicles like the Savage. Because if you look on the sign, the logos that are on the airbase sign, those two logos are on the Savage. So it's kind of just something I noticed while I was flying it one day, that it's possible that this could be a New Hope, but again, speculation. We could be completely 110% wrong. But
Right.
you know, you never know.
I mean, and one more
Yeah.
thing I just want to point out though, it's like just not necessarily speculation, more just taking just a minute to look at this picture that we have pulled up, and it is just so majestic seeing the vehicle just going into a fucking bright lit up tunnel. Like that just looks so fucking cool to me.
No, yeah, no, but like again, like all of these screenshots, it's all gonna be really exciting for all of us, just because we're all looking forward to it. Personally, in my opinion, I feel like the DLC is gonna either be dropping on the 6th or the 13th, but we have no confirmation. A lot of people say the 6th just because that's when a lot of the deals and everything end. Like the currently Rockstar is having a double like rebate or whatever. That you get 50% of the shark card that you buy. Some of the sales are ending here, but a lot of people are saying it's going to be the 13th just because of the because of that is the end of E3, and I feel like, or it'll be in the middle of E3, I believe.
Right. And one
And
more
I feel
thing I
like
just want to pull up real fast though, like there was one more picture that we totally forgot, and it was the news tank or the news like army tank thing, where it's like it's not the missile tank, but it's the other version. I don't know if you have that one.
yes,
It's
I
like
have
where
that
they're in
one.
the
Yeah.
water.
Yeah, so obviously we can tell from this, and they've already mentioned it's going to be fully amphibious, so
Very
that'll
awesome.
be definitely something. That'll be something interesting for us. We already obviously have amphibious vehicles such as the Blazer Aqua or the Technical Aqua. This will be something that's definitely an interesting vehicle. I think it's going to be the same as the tank in armor specs. I feel like it's going to be it'll be range from maybe like 3 to 4 explosive direct hits to blow it up. The thing I've noticed though, because I actually never played GTA 4. I played uh the GTA 5 was my quote unquote technical game. I played Liberty City obviously, but I never played Battle of Gay Katoni, so I never got to experience the
News
APC in that
tank.
game.
Right, yeah, it was very awesome. I mean, it didn't. So it was essentially the explosive of a grenade, but it was just rapid fire. It wasn't like rapid fire, like pow pow pow. It was like pow 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 pow. It was like that,
Yeah.
and
So
it
it
was
was
like the
expected.
explosive of a grenade going off. But then again, this is like I said, ladies and gentlemen, like Zesty said. I mean, if you ever played Battle of Gay Tony GTA 4, the add-on, this is the exact same tank with a couple of add-ons, obviously. They're bringing it back, which is actually pretty fucking awesome. I finally am loving that they're bringing some form of a vehicle, like besides the Sultan, obviously the Sultan and the Infernus are obviously vehicles that are already been added in since day one, but they're finally adding like in the news tank. I've always loved the news tank. It was one of my favorite vehicles within the game, and just the fact that it wasn't amphibious in GTA 4. But in GTA 5, as you can see clearly from this picture right here, and this is probably going to be our last picture before we end the podcast, that it is amphibious and it is fucking amazing. Like both vehicles as well, the rocket, amphibious tank, and the and this one as well. So it's gonna be pretty fucking awesome.
The turret, yeah. Yeah. So something I noticed though is that it has these flap like plates that rise up. Because I don't think that the glass is going to be bulletproof for this. I feel like you could be shot out. So I'm curious if those plates will like be able to close or something to be able to add extra
Yeah, that'll
armor.
be interesting. Kind of like a button you would push on your controller, close like the plating and shit. That'd be pretty interesting.
Because then you're a little more secured in there. But
And that's
yeah, other
another.
than that,
Yeah, that's another thing
yeah.
as well. It's not it's definitely gonna be controlled from the inside off of a computer-based turret. It's gonna be controlled within the noose tank. So this is gonna be that's another thing, as well. Just as a speculation though, because as the driver of the GTA 4 Gay Tony version of the tank, if you were the driver, you could shoot. But then again, and that's another thing as well. We were speculating, and that was with the car versions with the miniguns on them. There'd be a passenger controlling it. But with these, it might just be like a tank, like the new version of the tank, like the tank version, where you can shoot and drive at the same time. It might just be like that, to be honest. Or it'll take a passenger, and they'll have to shoot the guns.
Yeah.
Either way, though, it'll still be pretty fucking awesome to have them.
Well, in my past experience with knowledge of APCs, how they tend to happen is that they normally have a little like storage like troop like carrier area in the back where they can normally like maybe 2 people could be in,
Right, have troops.
and then there would be a gunner and then there would be a driver.
Right.
I don't know if GTA will allow the driver to be also the gunner, but I feel like it would make sense to have it because then all 4 members are in the APC.
Right.
If going back to the whole 4 situation.
Either way,
But
though,
then also you have the yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
Either way,
Like
though,
you
it's
have like
they'll both still be in there. It'll be fucking awesome either way, whether it be driver or
Yeah.
passenger shooting. It'd still be fucking awesome.
So yeah, no, I think that covers almost every single thing, obviously, in the game that we can cover right now. Obviously, I know that a lot of us, including myself, are very bloodthirsty for this.
Oh
this
yes, myself
DLC. I know.
included. Yeah, it's
we're all looking
it's driving me
forward to this
crazy. I want
DLC.
it now. It's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be definitely very interesting, and I assume I want you guys to all check out Panda on the day of the DLC because I know that he'll probably up before us all doing a little countdown for it, and then he'll be right there when the update's out, and he'll be covering everything for everyone. And I might be joining him then, because I actually will have the money to be able to buy everything because I was gracious and have money.
Right. Well, I guess that's pretty much gonna be it for the for the 420 Blazing Red Panda podcast is what I'm gonna be calling it most likely. Everyone, I appreciate Zesty for joining me today. It's been a great podcast covering all these topics. If there's more images or whatever or more videos coming out, like I know they haven't released a trailer for the update yet, but they have released pictures. Most likely they'll release a trailer 2 days or a day before the actual update comes out, and that's normally how Rockstar rolls. But if anything else does come out, we'll be sure to let you guys know. I'll be here with the Zesty, most likely, letting you guys know as well. We'll talk about it kind of like this. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in and watching this. We're approaching 1 hour, exactly 60 minutes right now on this video, which is going to be one of my longest videos. Or not, no, I've made a 2-hour video before on a live stream. But for this one, it's going to be one of my most longer videos. But yeah, if you guys have stayed through all the way to the end, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for just listening and to our speculations and us just talking about it. I appreciate that. If you did like the podcast and you want more, make sure to like this video, smash it with your fucking forehead, comment down below what you guys think. Like I said, if we missed anything, don't forget to comment down below, and share this video around. Please share it to your mom, dad, sister, uncle, cousin, brother, everybody, and have them like it and smash it with their have the like button and the subscribe button and smash it down with their forehead, because that's how we roll. So yeah, thanks again, Zesty. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Not a problem. I'm glad that we're able to talk with the DLC and kind of break down things. I know that a lot of YouTubers are already doing this kind of stuff. I'm just kind of hoping that we can shed light on things that they may have not covered. And also the fact that we're not, taking this too in depth and jumping the gun a little.
Right. Well, like I said, appreciate you guys stopping in and watching the video. And this has been your boy 420 Blazing Red Panda and my friend Zesty here, and we will see you guys in the next video. Peace.